Welcome to our week 6 recap. I always forget the week for some reason, but ignore that. So, it was a pretty crazy week. A lot of upsets, a lot of teams coming back and doing pretty good. A lot of disappointing contracts that are looking worse than ever, and a lot of players who went crazy. So, I said we just jump right into it with the first thing I want to talk about as a Cowboys fan. It was a pretty good week, so I'd like to talk about the Eagles and the Niners finally losing a game, so I don't have to hear it from their fans anymore. So, uh, I think that both of them were pretty crazy games, but I have to ask, which one is more surprising? Because I feel like they're both pretty crazy losses, but I don't think I think that they were both bad. But which one do you guys think is was worse?
Okay, so
I
I
I think the
don't think it
Niners
was
lost
worse.
worse.
I just think that the Niners had a lot of injuries. We'll get to that later, but the Eagles, everybody's healthy, and they put the Jets, who really haven't changed much since they have before. They had the same
Oh,
exact
Aaron
team.
Rodgers.
The Eagles had the same exact team. So I feel like the Niners actually had like injuries and stuff. The Eagles they just played bad, and the Jets played better. So I think it's a bigger upset with the Eagles game. But the Browns, it's still a crazy upset, nonetheless, for the Browns.
Yeah,
Yeah,
4 turnovers, especially from a QB at Jalen Hurts' level, it's just not acceptable,
yeah, but
especially against a beat up Jets defense.
yeah, I feel like the Niners was more surprising just because I think the Jets are more of a complete team. They have they're more well-rounded than the Browns are, and plus I feel like
Yeah,
with CMC being out and Debo being out, like Brandon Ayuk definitely didn't get as much targets and catches as we thought he would. Neither did George Kittle, and yeah, kicker sold.
yeah. I still can't believe that. Looking at the clip, it's crazy. And it wasn't like a crazy field goal. It was barely above 30 yards. I know that
Yeah,
sounds stupid, but think about it. 41 might as well be 40. And that's close enough to the 30s. So, you know. Like, if you put, like, any kicker in that situation, like, 9 times out of 10, they'd make it. Like, that's just a field goal that you sit there and watch and you're like, oh man, he's going to make that.
yeah,
And it just didn't go in. Like,
yeah.
but, it was close. It was a close kick. But I like to bring back what Joseph said earlier about how the Niners, like, they had some injuries. Like, obviously, Christian McCaffrey getting injured late in the game definitely affected the ending. But like he said, the Eagles aren't missing anybody. They're not missing any linemen. Their receiver core is great. They're healthy. Jalen Hurts is very healthy. There's just no excuse for 4 turnovers with a
Yeah.
loaded O line, a loaded receiver core, and a pretty mid running back. But still,
DeAndre
like
Swift's pretty good.
I
I feel
guess.
like somehow the Jets being at home like kind of affected it because they beat the Bills at home and then they beat the 5-0 Eagles at home. I don't know what that has to do with anything, but like it's just kind of weird how they're beating good teams and then they play the Patriots and lose. It just doesn't make sense.
I just never understand it. Football is a pretty crazy sport,
It's the
and
NFL
yes, it's
script.
football. The script writers were on point this year. But I want to talk about, instead of talking about how impressive the loss was, I want to say how impressive it was by the defensive performance from the Browns and Jets for facing literally the juggernauts of the NFC. Their defensive performances were really impressive. Holding
Yeah,
both of them, those two teams combined last week had like combined 70 points. This week they had like 35. That's like almost half. That's literally half of what they had last week.
yeah. And the Jets were missing Sauce Gardner,
Oh yeah,
and I think DJ Reeves out.
yeah he
But
was.
I mean, the rest of their players definitely stepped up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you said the juggernauts of the NFC. Not gonna lie, they're kind of They were the juggernauts of the entire league at that point. You could say
I
the
get
Chiefs.
that. That's fair.
or the Bills, but the Bills almost got embarrassed on Sunday night. We'll talk about
And
that.
the Chiefs lost to the Lions.
Chiefs almost lost to the Broncos, and I say almost because obviously they're not going to lose, but it was too close to be considered a good game for the
Yeah,
Chiefs.
especially only one touchdown.
I don't know.
Yeah. Against the Broncos defense.
Yeah, well, I mean,
That
defense is
same that same Broncos defense got 70 points dropped on their head 2 weeks prior to that game. That's crazy to think about. By the
And
Dolphins
they
too.
were strapping up though in the red zone. They were strapping up.
Yeah,
yeah,
that
they
was
were.
Mahomes was lost in the sauce, except when they forgot Kelsey's a tight end, not a lineman. They just left him wide open every time.
I know. But that was pretty crazy. And also, I'd like to say that in that game, it's so clear what the problem is in Denver. It's because Russell Wilson is too concerned about what the media says that he's literally scared to throw the ball deep and make any mistakes, which is a good thing. But he's so hesitant. Like we saw at the end of the game, he had nothing to lose, so he just threw it up to his receiver, and he caught it. By the way, shout out to Cortland Sutton. He had like 2 points, and then he scored that, and then he had like 14. So get on Cortland for helping me win this week in fantasy. But he's just too hesitant to throw the ball. He's like a shell of his Seattle self. Like he just doesn't look
Yeah,
like the same fearless quarterback that would run 20 yards without fear of getting just absolutely hammered and just throwing it up to Tyler Lockett. It's like
Yeah,
it's totally different.
that happens to most good run decent quarterbacks that made the Super Bowl are really good. They go to a mid team and then they suck. They stink at what they do.
Uh,
Like Russell Wilson.
Jimmy G.
Aaron Rodgers. There's too
He
many
got
of
hurt.
them.
We
Yeah,
can't
But
he
he
say
got
got.
hurt.
I
Could have
guess,
been cooking.
but yeah, he'd probably
they
be
look
pretty good.
they look pretty good, but they got hurt. So.
Yeah. So I think that's a good way to end off our upsets and impressive wins segment slash beginning. I don't really know. Let's move on to something that was pretty surprise. Well, not really surprising. I mean, kind of depends on how you see it, but I'd say Bengals getting back to 500 and being mid instead of trash. I think that's a pretty big step up, if you ask me.
Yeah, I mean, there's nothing like special. I think their defense played a lot better. Joe
Yeah,
Burrow, I mean, he had a mid game, 2 touchdowns, pick, 185 yards, something like that.
yeah,
But I mean, the defense is doing what they need to. The offense is doing what they need to. So that's how you win games.
Yeah.
yeah. I think that yeah, that's pretty. That's pretty.
Yeah, Seattle. In my opinion, I thought Seattle had the game in the bag easily. Not cause not when they were playing, but like just before. The Seahawks have been pretty decent this year on offense, and the defense hasn't been too bad. They just look pretty good, and I don't know. I don't know what happened in that kind of game. They kind of forgot how to play football, and they just got destroyed. Well, not
I mean,
destroyed. Just
Gino didn't play it. I don't think he played that bad.
yeah. No,
He got
I'm not.
sacked a
Yeah,
lot.
I'm just saying they ended up losing. Their defense couldn't stop Joe Burrow as much as I thought they would.
yeah, yeah. I guess it wasn't the most impressive performance, but know what they say. A win is a win. So, and Jamar Chase did pretty terrible for me this week. He didn't really put up that much numbers. And okay, I know this is irrelevant, but I just want to tell you like a story that happened to me. So I was looking at my fantasy, right, and I was like, okay, that's cool. But I didn't realize that I still had DK bench from last week because I think they were on a bye. I don't think they were on a bye. He was just injured or something.
They were. They had to buy that
So
week.
I kept in Brandon Cooks on accident. DK got like 1.9, and then Brandon Cooks got me 13 points. So it all worked out in the end. But that's irrelevant. So back to the Bengals. I guess
There's not really much to say. They
yeah,
won. They did better. The defense was better. Did what they had
yeah,
to. Joe Burrow showed up. Joe Mixon did alright. He's not good this year. I don't know why he drafted
I
him
don't
first
know.
round.
I drafted that man in like the fourth round. He's been mid. Like
I drafted him like third round.
I think I have him in one of my leagues. I drafted him like. mm, Hold on, let me see if I can find it.
yeah, but I think that the
I
Bengals
drafted him in
is
like the third round. Yeah,
dang. You guys draft classes were dumb, bro. You like they took that much running backs. Did y'all have to resort to like Joe Mixon in the second and third?
I mean I had Devontae Adams and Travis Kelce, so
When did you draft Kelsey?
first round, and then I got Devontae in the second, and Joe Mixon in the third.
Okay, all right, buddy. I don't I don't like people who draft Travis Kelsey in the first round because it's so annoying. Like,
He
cause
was
it's
there. I
impossible.
might as well have took him, and I got
Yeah, but
Devontae Adams.
it's like impossible to get any good tight ends. Once George Kittle and Travis Kelsey are on the board, maybe T.J. Hawkinson too, probably Laporta
Mark
this year.
Andrews and Travis, Mark Andrews, Hawkinson, and then Kittle.
Yeah, and sometimes Evan Ingram, but not really because he hasn't been playing that good this year.
He's like
But other than that, every week, bro, it's like you're on waivers trying to find a tight end. If you don't have those like six, I don't know what to tell you. You're kind of screwed. But NF fantasy, that's a talk for never because we don't talk about fantasy on this channel. Even though we might later. But I think that let's talk about somebody who just came to the league, doing good, and I think that we should talk about my boy CJ Stroud. Now I know he threw his first pick, but doesn't matter. Okay, he's just been playing like
he won, so
yeah, and
Yeah, but they got
they
and
got
when he
they got
threw the pick, the linebacker fumbled it. They got it right back, and scored a touchdown off of it. So
yeah. That's a CJ Stroud moment right there.
yeah,
But man,
squabble.
he looks so good. I can't. Nah. All right, shut. All right, but I think that it was an impressive performance to say the least. He genuinely looks like the quarterback of the future for the Texans. If I'm being honest.
Yeah, he definitely does.
Yeah, him and Nico Collins. That's a connection that is gonna last a long time, and it's gonna be a deadly combo for years to come. I mean, but the NFL, things happen, so that might not age well, but who cares?
Yeah.
I also want to say the Saints. I know it's C.J. Stroud, and like he doesn't give you a lot of opportunities, but they actually got one opportunity, and then they went like 3 and out, and they didn't score anything off of it. So it's pretty disappointing. But the Saints, like they just need to do better. Like with the chances that they're given, they did good against the Patriots, but after that, they're just no shows every week.
Yeah, 3-3. They were 2-0. Yeah, they were 2-0, and 1-3 cents. So it's not good. And they're going against easy teams:
Yeah,
Patriots, Texans,
just like us, the Cowboys.
Panthers. But yeah, looks like Derek Carr wasn't like the best option, but I guess they're at 500. But we'll see.
Yeah, I have to agree. I mean, like I said, wins are wins, but at that point, you gotta be like, okay, what happens when we face like a team that has more than 2 wins? Like, same thing with the Cowboys. Same with the Cowboys. Like, we play teams that have more than 2 wins and then we lose. But that's besides the point. I think that it's not their fault that they have an easy schedule, but it's something to like look down on when it comes to their team because, yeah, but I think their schedule gets harder, like in the years to come for the Dolphins. I feel like it gets harder, but
Yeah.
yeah. So CJ Stroud is good, Nico Collins is good, Schultz is mid, and the Saints are bad. So
Damon Pierce is trash.
yeah, he's a bum, man. I didn't draft him high, but I still have had him in like a lot of my benches because I thought he was going to be like elite, not elite, but he was going to be someone that I could put in when like Josh Jacobs has a bye or something. By the way, Josh Jacobs isn't doing it either, but he's just been so bad. Like if you look at his logs, bro, like I don't even think he does. He even have a touchdown this year?
Who?
Uh,
Oh yeah,
Damian Pierce.
he had one week 3, I think.
Yeah, like I could have sworn he
He's
had
been
one against.
quiet.
He had one against the Colts, another one against the Colts, and then he got called back. So and then they
No,
snuck it in with, huh?
it was the Steelers. Remember?
Oh yeah, huh? Yeah.
Took it back for some reason.
And I was like, "Are you serious, bro?" I was so mad because I had to start him that week because that was the week that Nick Chubb got in, or not Nick Chubb. That's the previous following week.
We should have got her week 2.
I forgot who got injured. Someone was out or something, so I had to put him in, and he got me like 2 fantasy points. It would have been 9, but you know, beggars can't be choosers.
The annoying part is when I was drafting, after Joe Mixon and Aaron Jones would go off the board, it would be like Damian Pierce, Najee Harris,
Ugh.
Rashad White, Kenneth Walker. Kenneth Walker's probably obviously the best on that selection. But at that point, I didn't really know who to take. And I think I drafted a quarterback in the 4th round because none of those guys I really wanted. I knew I could wait to get a decent running back. I think I took Brees Hall in the end. But
No?
Yeah,
Yeah,
much
that's
better than
solid.
those
I'll
guys.
say I see that as a win.
And I got
Honestly.
Lamar, so I got Lamar. Which is,
Oh, okay.
That's also mid.
yeah. Right now it's
Yeah,
mid.
but
At that time, I thought it was a good pick.
he'll do better later in the year. Hopefully, probably not, but one can only hope so. So, I think that's enough about C.J. Stroud and his successes. I think that we should talk about another team that has been being very successful for my fantasy, especially. But the Lions, all right, came out with a dub against Tampa Bay. It was pretty impressive, honestly. I don't think it was a blowout. It wasn't a
No,
close
I
game
think it
though.
was. I think it was like 31-6 or something.
Oh, it was.
Yeah,
Oh,
I'm pretty sure.
okay, yeah.
Come
So
on.
Baker Mayfield looked like Justin Fields. And honestly, it all went pretty
It was
good.
only 20-6. I thought they scored it.
Oh,
But I guess not.
well, that's still like they had control the whole game, and
Yeah.
like they had that Tampa Bay defense has been pretty good this year. They held them to 2 field goals, which is pretty impressive for like a Lions team with one of like the worst defenses. They allow like some of the most points in the league. But Amon-Ra St. Brown, thank you, I appreciate it. But I like to thank another person on that Lions team, Laporta. Um, he's been literally like one like I saw him right, and he went undrafted. And then after week 1, I put in like a claim for him because everybody in my league wanted him, and I got him somehow. And he's been going crazy.
That means your team
Like
sucks. The waiver wire.
that's because I was like 0-1 because I lost the first game, and like mind you, this is week 2 after week 1, so
Yeah. But I mean,
I
the whole
yeah
entire Lions team is really good. Like, it's
yeah
just well rounded, well
just get their
coached.
roster. Yeah,
Yeah, they're well balanced. Jared Goff has been playing great. The rookies have been shining. Amon Ra, their star
yeah,
has been shining. Amon Ra, their star receiver, has been playing. Honestly, as one of the best receivers in the league. David
yeah,
Montgomery's been pretty good. I'm pretty sure he got hurt this week, but Jameer Gibbs is the rookie. He might be able to do what he couldn't do with Montgomery in front of him, but we'll see what happens. And the Lions are looking very dangerous this year, and hopefully they can keep it up and probably make the playoffs and
Oh,
maybe
yeah.
go
Easily.
deeper.
Probably get the one
yeah,
seed. I wouldn't doubt
yeah.
it. Honestly, I wouldn't doubt it.
It's not hard to believe. They're literally tied
The
in first place
schedule's
for the
easy, then
best record.
I don't know. Maybe they can get the 1 seed.
Yeah, but they're tied for first with the Niners and the Eagles now because they both lost, and they only have 1 loss. It's crazy. I still can't believe they lost to the Seahawks, and it was in overtime too. So for all we know,
Yeah.
they could be
They could
6 and
have
0.
been. Yeah. Okay, so the Lions have the third seed right now,
Yeah, because
behind obviously
they
the Niners
haven't
and the
been
Eagles.
winning as much as.
Yeah,
Yeah. A
the
quick question for
Cowboys have
y'all.
the 5 seed.
That is way better than I thought. I thought we were missing. I thought we were out of the playoffs right now.
How would you
Wait.
be out
Well,
of the playoffs? You're
well, I
one
okay.
win too.
Well, I mean, like I thought we were like the eighth seed.
No, no.
Yeah. A quick question for y'all. I don't know if y'all know the answers, but what year was Amon-Ra St. Brown drafted in? I think it was
19?
like
He was drafted in
so.
2021.
Okay.
21?
Yeah.
All right. Now let's move on to our second to last subject. We're almost done.
But so this has been a
And
boring recap.
well, yeah, it's because there was like.
Hold on, I don't mean to. I don't mean to interrupt.
Who's screaming?
Allowing!
I'm about to say who. I was like, what the heck is that stupid noise in the back?
Okay, so
Joe, cut
I'm
that
just
part
gonna
out.
transition because we only have one subject left because the injuries we kind of already talked about that. So
Okay, but there's
uh,
like 8 more injuries that happened.
okay, all right, I'm gonna transition. Uh, can I transition, please, Chris?
Yeah. Go.
Joseph has to poop. Okay, so
Okay, hurry up, hurry up.
all
Just
right,
go. Okay, yeah, go to Tyrod Taylor. We'll talk about that for like 5 minutes,
yeah.
and then we'll talk about the injuries.
Okay. So moving on to how the Giants were this close, one holding call away. That should have been called, in my opinion, but
That was
we'll
PI
talk
all
about.
day long.
Yeah,
That was
we'll talk about
PI.
that. We'll talk about that later. So the Bills almost getting upset
Oh.
by the Bills or by the Giants on Sunday Night Football. I'm not gonna lie, that whole game I was like falling asleep until like the last two
Dude, that
minutes.
game was so boring.
I know but the last like 1 minute had me on my feet. But the first 3 quarters I was just
Jake, stop the cap. You were sleeping in the fourth quarter. I had to call you in there to watch the game with me.
I was scrolling through TikTok. Okay, so anyways, that's not important right now. Okay, so honestly, let's talk about the first thing that comes to mind when I think about this. Somehow, some way, Tyrod Taylor played better than Daniel Jones has all year.
I don't think he played better. He well obviously didn't throw like a pick or anything. He was
Yeah,
being smart. He wasn't turning the ball
yeah, he
over.
was taking care of the football.
Yeah, but I mean, it was just a low-scoring game. The Bills didn't do anything until the end of the game
Yeah,
because
It
obviously
was
the
just the
defense
fourth
can't
quarter
hold them
that they
forever.
scored, actually. It was only the fourth quarter that they put up points.
Yeah,
Which is kind of surprising that the
the end of the
Giants
game.
shut them out for 3 quarters.
yeah. So I must say, like that was just like we already said, it was just a boring game, like throughout like pretty much the entire thing. But you know, there's not really much to say about that game because, like I said, first 4.5 quarters or 3.5 quarters were just sleepers. Like so, yeah. I mean, that call at the end though is like such a bummer
Come
too.
on, bro.
Like
Because they're
how
in
many
Buffalo.
two hand like it's just you can't miss it.
I mean,
Bro,
I
Jalen
was
Waller couldn't
heated.
even put his arm up, bro. He was
I
holding
was
him.
heated because the funny thing is, the announcers are talking about how at any time if they see clock pulled, they're gonna blow a holding flag, and the fact that they were standing right there. And what do I see? I see cloth pull. You want to know what they do? They do nothing about it. When it's
Nothing.
the Bills, they're like, that's obviously going to be called every time there's cloth pull. But when it's the Giants, they're talking about how that was great defense and that the Bills won because they did, but it was bad defense.
I
They
know.
did.
I remember seeing at the end. What a play! That was like. What a defensive play by whoever the kid was.
And
No one knows
the
your name, little
most
bro.
annoying thing is when, like, say the Chiefs are gonna play the Giants, and they win by like 3 points at the goal line. Yet they're still gonna be called the best team in the league, even though you could see the flaws and the bad things. That's the most annoying thing to me. When you like a good team almost loses to like a terrible team, and nobody cares because they still won. Like
Oh, the Cowboys.
Cowboys win by 3 points, and people are like, "You only won by 3 points. You almost lost." Like the Chiefs barely beat the Broncos. Nobody cares.
Everyone's just like, oh, Chiefs are great. Yeah, but they shut them out for like 3 quarters, so it's okay. But who cares? So I don't know. I just don't like Chiefs fans. Like Chiefs fans are just so annoying. But speaking of another annoying fan base, let's move on to the Niners. I know we already talked about this at the beginning, but I just want to jump into it to end off the segment because one thing I forgot to mention is I mentioned Christian McCaffrey's injury, but there's like 7 more. So
Well, not
like,
on the Niners. They're all like it's just this
well,
week that happened.
yeah, but like,
So Lane Johnson had an ankle injury. Trent Williams had an ankle injury. Ryan
yeah,
Tannehill had an ankle injury. David Montgomery had a knee injury. Deebo Samuel had a shoulder injury. Jimmy G had a back injury. Trevor Lawrence had a knee injury. Justin Fields had a hand injury. CMC had a rib injury, I guess.
yeah. I think it was like his ribs.
Oblique.
Yeah, oblique, something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, those were all the injuries. And the Niners have about a third of them. So
Is he
Yeah.
that's
playing?
not good.
Probably not.
Wait.
His ribs are like dislocated.
I have him on ESPN Fantasy. It says he's playing, and he's projected like 20 points still. It doesn't even say he's questionable at all. Fields, I think he's definitely not playing versus Las Vegas. So if the Raiders find a way to lose, then the Raiders are actually terrible.
Yeah.
But I doubt they'll lose to the Bears without
Justin
Justin Fields.
Fields. Yeah,
Or
it's a
Chase
dislocated thumb in his throwing hand.
Chase Claypool was literally carrying so hard. He worked so hard every week, and he was such a great player. I drafted him in all my fantasy leagues. He's been my best receiver on the team. He's averaging like 30 points a game.
Who?
Chase Claypool.
Uh, I know. Like he's like last week he put up like 50. He put up like 50 points. I know. Like it's so good.
I'm so surprised that they traded him to the Dolphins. Like the Dolphins are literally about to win the Super Bowl because they got such a good running back, such a good receiver.
I know, bro. I hate that guy on YouTube Shorts. It's like
Muted.
today the Dolphins just traded for Chase Claypool, and this means that the Dolphins are winning the championship this year.
Because last year the Chiefs running Kadarius Toney, and the year before I don't even remember what Super Bowl that was.
I think it was like the Rams signing OBJ or something
Oh
like
yeah, the Rams got OBJ, and the year before that, the Chiefs. I don't even remember who won the Super Bowl.
that. And that was the Bucks who got Antonio Brown.
The Bucks won in Antonio Brown.
Okay, that's enough of making fun of that idiot.
Chase
But-
Claypool, so they're gonna win it all.
I think that
Chris.
yeah, I think that making fun of terrible shorts creators is fun, but I think that now is a good time to end our episode of our Week 6 recap. This week was pretty mid, if I'm being honest. It wasn't very interesting. Although I will say though, the Jets and Niners games, those were pretty good. But other than that,
Injuries and same old same.
I just didn't like the injuries. But all good things must come to an end, and Week 7 is almost underway. Hopefully we get it out before Thursday Night Football. Well, we're trying to upload this on Wednesday, but who's counting, right?
Right.
So we hope this video made your day better. If you're still watching for some reason, we all love you. Everybody in this call loves you. You're the best. You're him, and we're out. Or her. Yeah, or him or her. Yeah. But I don't know. I guess that's us signing off. Goodbye.